Hello and welcome everyone, shining beings from all times and all multifold dimensions. It is I, Sylvia Hartmann, coming to you live from beautiful Eastbourne by the Sea. I am the creator of modern energy and the president of the Guild of Energists. And here on this channel, on this show, we talk about the most important part of you that gets the least amount of attention. And that is your beautiful radiant energy body. I'm very excited to be here today and to have a special live stream where I don't actually know what I'm going to be talking about or what we're going to do. So that always adds an extra layer of excitement to the game, in my opinion. I am going to welcome dear Lioness. Good morning. Rainsweaver and Jemessier. Hello, guys. How lovely to have you here with me this morning. Yeah, so the title today is Soul Sanctuary. And that just floated into my mind yesterday when I was thinking about what I was going to be doing this morning. Soul Sanctuary. And it's just lovely and resonant. By all means, just say that in your own language, in your own words. Soul Sanctuary. What kind of energy does that have for you? Meaning, what kind of emotional response that does that create in you when you think about a soul sanctuary? I've been kind of thinking about this for a while, obviously, but my favorite thing in life is Project Sanctuary, which became Supermind in 2016. And that whole concept of a sanctuary, holy ground, where you can be safe and protected and loved, and where things are beautiful, has always deeply appealed to me. Deeply appealed to me. Sanctuary from all the troubles, all the pain, all the suffering, all of that. And you can possibly hear in my voice that I'm getting emotional when I talk about sanctuary. And that's not a bad thing. That is not a thing to be disregarded or disrespected. When a person gets emotional, that means that there's a lot going on in their energy body, that there's a lot of energy moving, but it might be hitting blockages and reversals, and the pressure is just too great. And when the pressure becomes too great, then that drives tears into your eyes, and the pressure is released in that way. And that's quite healthy and natural. People have been taught, of course, for thousands of years, that you need to push your emotions down, push them down. And, depending on how well that works, you just get to push them down that much, you get problems in the mouth. If you push them down that much, you get problems in the throat. These energies are rising and slamming up against these blockages and causing physical sensations. If you can manage to push it down that much, you can probably get problems in the heart area. Push it down even further, now you have stomach problems. And you can push your emotions down even further still, and then we have all sorts of other problems. Good morning, dear Marina. How lovely to have you here with us this morning. Welcome to the Soul Sanctuary. So, I was just talking about being emotional about the concept of sanctuary. And the minute I say it again, I get the same reaction. I get this real upwelling of feelings, and it's stuck here under my eyes. and you can just hear how that changes my voice. It's so interesting how people, by suppressing emotions and suppressing talking about emotions or not allowing people to have emotions, how there's so much knowledge that got lost on so many things. And I think really I've come from the place that the great creative order doesn't hate us human beings, it loves us. And if it gave us emotions, there must have been a reason for that, right? Wouldn't have done it if they weren't useful in some way. And they're definitely not designed to hurt us or punish us or something. We're just mishandling them. This was my original concept on that. And then it turns out emotions are our real sixth sense that tells us what's going on in the worlds of energy that we can't see. Just like scent is a sense that tells us of things that we can't see, but we can scent it instead. The hearing is for things we can't see, but you hear the growling of the bear in the bush behind you, and that tells you it's there. And so emotions are really just about what is happening energy wise in your own energy body and obviously around you in the environment. So it's not a bad thing to have emotions. And I'm going to come back to that word sanctuary that drives me to tears. That moves me so much that I get tearful when I say the word. Ah. Yes, and then we have the second part of this thing, the soul. The soul. Now, see, I believe that I don't believe this. I know this from my own personal experience that everybody has one. It's a component, it's an organ of a living energy body. And this affirmation that we do in the GOE, which goes, and you can say that with me if you already know it. I have an amazing physical body. I have a beautiful mind. And I have a radiant energy body. And my happiness matters, right? The radiant energy body is a thing made up of many levels and layers, of many flows and all sorts of things going on in there. But one of the major organs, if you will, of our living energy bodies is the immortal soul. And when I use that term organ, is that the energy body actually needs this organ to function correctly. It's not an additional extra. It's not like you're buying a car and you can have an additional extra sunroof or something. The soul is a structural necessity for a functioning human energy body, just like the living heart is a functional necessity for the physical body. So it's not some mysterious floaty thing. It's not some weird thing that you either can, have or not have, or that is it's immaterial. Well, it is immaterial, but that doesn't mean it's not important. And one of the problems that I found with people is that the concept they have of their soul. And so I would like to ask you guys here in the chat, when you think of your soul, what is that to you? If your soul had a shape, what would it be? If it had a position, where would it be? If it had, a color, what might it be? What is your personal concept, your entity, your soul entity that you use consciously to relate to your soul? That's an interesting question. That is some people say it's like a ball of light that sits on top of their head. And yeah, and I finished this painting, Dancing with Your Soul. I finished it yesterday. It had its first sunrise yesterday. And I think I had to do this painting in order to tackle project Superstar, which starts tomorrow, and I'm just beyond excited about it. Christmas morning, finding gifts under the Christmas tree pales in comparison to this. And it is, it's actually a lot bigger than it looks. Just watch my hand here for a moment as we're getting into. You see how small that's getting the hand. There we go. There it is. Well, and in this painting, I've represented the soul as a great big mirror ball. And the person underneath who's dancing with the soul, that's clearly not a physical body, that is an energy body. And it's made of that same soul material in the painting. It's the same thing. There is a level of us, a layer of us that is of that soul level. And that's really what is described in that painting. And even though the soul may be a very, very challenging concept to get clear in your own mind what that is and how that works for you, there's one thing that we can know is there is a soul level to our energy body. And this soul level, if there are problems in that soul level, at some level, there are very few things that can cure that can heal that, or even people trying to heal that. And it's kind of crazy because psychology is in translation, the name psychology means the study of the soul. Whew, I don't see much soul studying going on in psychology as it stands. So I don't really know where they lost their way and decided to do something else. Statistics? Perhaps they should rename themselves to statisticology? Don't know. I'm not a psychologist, but I am interested in the study of the soul. Let's have a look at what Chemazier says. Chemazier says, it's like a part of my energy system, like a piece there and there. I mean now my sense of my soul. Okay, yeah, right. So instead of a cohesive whole, this feels like it's sparking here and there, there and there, showing an existence, but it's difficult to see what it is in total. Let's see what Linus says. I'll have to think about visualizing this. It's kind of invisible and omnipresent to me. Yeah, that's I mean, in a nutshell, that's the problem. That is the problem. We have when I say we have a beautiful mind, what I'm meaning by that is we have the energy mind and we also have our conscious mind. And this has been horribly denigrated by so many people. They call it the monkey mind and it's crap and it's just chattering and we must meditate it away and it's horrible. And it isn't. It's an honest, true system that tries to work for us as best as it can with the software that's been given. And the software is our conventions of language, of religion, of laws. That's the software our conscious mind is operating on. And our conscious mind needs to have some kind of a representation in order to understand things. It can't handle an omnipresent, invisible something. It literally can't hang its hat on an omnipresent, invisible something. It needs to have some kind of something that it can understand. And we can think in terms of explaining things to our conscious minds like you would explain things to a small child, so that it can create a structure inside their minds that they can understand. Good morning, dear Marianne. We are talking about souls. And when I ask the question, when you think of your soul, what do you conceptualize? What do you see? How do you make sense of your soul. That's really the consciously. That's the word I'm looking for. See what Ravensweaver says. Ravensweaver conceptualizes their soul as a detachable self, like an astral body. Okay, like my dancer on my painting. Yeah, interesting. Interesting idea. Humanoid, I'm guessing, slightly. Slightly humanoid. Like my Star Matrix man up there. That's like a humanoid mirror ball. Ah, cool. Yeah. Well, this is something sort of for everybody to think about. This is important. If we want to connect with our soul, we need to have some sort of a conscious representation of what it is that we are connecting with. There needs to be something there that we can hang our conscious hats on, that we can consciously interact with, that we can consciously deal with. And that's really super important. And I don't think that's been done correctly. And this is why people just, when you talk about soul, so many people's eyes just cross over. And, you know, yeah, because it's not crystal clear what it is, how it works, and how you feel it inside, and what happens when you feel it, when you feel your own soul speaking to you. It doesn't speak. It transmits information in various mysterious ways. Ooh, let's see what Marina says. Marina says, a butterfly between earth and sky. That's a really interesting one. Thank you for sharing that. A butterfly between earth and sky. Ah, beautiful. Mm. Lioness says, yes, I have a feeling I'll be able to craft a conception today. Yeah. Well, look, we can think of the way I think of this is when I make a model in my head for something. When I make a model for something, it's a first draft. It's a first draft. It's not the finished thing. If you are thinking in terms of building a great cathedral, a great crystal cathedral somewhere, the thought might come to you while you are in a cafe or a restaurant, and you sketch an outline on a napkin with a ballpoint pen. And sort of that's the stage we are at with creating a concept of our own immortal souls that is going to be useful, that is going to be sane making, makes us saner, makes us stronger, makes us more inspired, uplifts us. Yeah, guessing that's where the metaphor of the cathedral comes in. The idea of the cathedral is to uplift the spirit. And that's really what I'm looking for. People's spirits are so energy bodies, spirits, but people's spirits have been so beaten down with so many things, so many different things, that anything that literally uplifts the spirit is just most welcome, and something that, I wish on me and everyone in the chat this morning. Good morning, dear Ilka. Welcome. We're talking about souls and uplifting, and when we use the word soul, how do we conceptualize that? Yeah, so I'd like to share a sort of a visualization that I made some years ago. Let's just have a look at that. Okay. So that's my modern energy art side, and I use energy art absolutely to help me make first drafts of concepts, such as, yeah, the drawing of the cathedral on a napkin in a cafe. So what I wanted to share with us today was this one. 3 prisms. Let's see if I can make that a little bit bigger. Yeah, that looks good. I think we can see that. This is my visualization of the three major levels of the human energy system. And if we start there on the right with the smallest one, that one is the system that is reliant on the heart of energy. And that is described by EMO, energy in motion. And so a lot of the sort of energy systems that in the Oriental tradition are the chakras are actually directly linked to that, and the heart of energy sort of rules them all, provides them all with energy, and is the heart of that system. The one in the middle, that's the dear energy mind. That's just a completely different layer. That's the level and layer where we are working with metaphor, where we go into sanctuary and we interact with beings and with plants and with magic gardens and all of those things. All the stories, every story ever told is a sanctuary story. There's that word again, sanctuary. Every story ever told is a sanctuary story. And that's that second level. Yeah, and then we have the big one at the back, and that would be the soul level. And I believe that is dealt with and described in Star Matrix. Star Matrix is for the soul level. It's soul healing, soul reconnecting. That's what that's for. And that's where we're at. And I kind of worked my way through that. And these three levels are what I can tell at this point is what's important for us to understand and connect consciously with in our living energy bodies. I love that picture. I do. 3 prisms. Oh, cool. Yeah, so here's a question that I'd like to ask you guys. When I say soul sanctuary, what do you think? What do you think that is? When I say the word soul sanctuary, what do you think that is? When I first thought of the word, I thought of it in terms of like you get a sanctuary for old horses. It's a space where so a sanctuary space where these souls can come in and go, finally, we're not getting hurt and pained and suffering. We don't have to work hard anymore. There's green grass, there's water, and there's people who like us. Yeah, okay. Lioness of Gaia said, somewhere a state my soul can rest, be safe, and heal. Right. So you thought the same thing that I thought, that a soul sanctuary is a place that the soul can go to and be in sanctuary, essentially. Yep. Completely with you on that. That was my first thought as well. Exactly. Ilka says, communicating with my soul, soul healing. Right. Okay. It's kind of similar. The soul healing part here is that part where that the soul needs healing. Jemessier says energy being. Soul sanctuary. Yeah. So as I slept and dreamed last night, so what I do is on Saturday morning, I set up Sunday Live. And on this occasion, I set it up with that name, Soul Sanctuary. But I didn't know what it was going to be about. And so tonight, as I slept and dreamed, I had an idea. And the idea is that this is not about finding a sanctuary for our souls, but that our soul is our sanctuary. That our soul is, oh my, I'm getting energy flows here again. That the soul is where we go to find sanctuary. And Ravensweaver just said here this: a spa where we get refreshed and have a variety of treatments, and of course a garden and hot springs and healers. And that is the soul. That's what that is. That we kind of go inside of it. That the soul isn't something that's in need of healing or saving, because it is healed, it is saved. It exists at these other levels where, I keep quoting that, where no rust can attack it, and where no moths can eat it, and where no thieves can steal it away. It exists at this other level. And when I thought that, I had a real sense of, yes, that's right. That's right. The soul is the sanctuary for us that we yearn for, that we are homesick for, that we need to come and heal and protect us and surround us with love and care and compassion. That's what our soul could do for us if we get our relationship with it right. That's what I was going to say. That's what I thought. Lioness says, what a powerful paradigm shift. Yes. Yes, I was astonished when that thought came to me, that the soul indeed is the sanctuary. Shemazia says, our soul is our sanctuary. Wow. Yes. Right. When we go back to how we think in terms of our soul, I don't know who said it. I thought perhaps it was Linus, said that it was all around them and kind of nebulous. I know Jamazier said that it was all around them, but sort of sparking now and then. Now, imagine if we could make it so that it really was around us, that we were right down in the middle of it, right smack in the middle of our own souls. And there are this radiance around us, this protection, this sense of being home and being saved. And even if you're sick or dying, you are safe inside your soul. And when you die, you are safe inside that soul that will then take you away to the next level. I think that's a fantastic idea. It's a wonderful concept. And I find that really uplifting. Oh, Ilka says something. Wow. So if I do my morning sanctuary as the first thing of the day, so the first thing I do is to get in touch with my soul. And in the evening too. How cool is that? Yes. Yes. I like the idea of that. I wonder if I'm going to get one of these people in the comments who go, well, have you written any scientific research papers that have been peer reviewed on this? No, I haven't. I'm just offering a train of thought, an idea, a concept that came to me this morning Whoa, what if the soul was the sanctuary? What if the soul was what we've been looking for all along? That it can provide this nourishment, this protection, this strengthening, everything that we want when we hear that word sanctuary. It could provide that for us, and it would work. And that would be one of the answers to my ongoing question: how can we raise our energy average? How can we make it so that we're not constantly falling back down into the negative stress states and constantly having to do all sorts of energy techniques 15 times a day in order to just keep on the positive side of the Sue scale? What can we do about it? And perhaps this idea of being inside our soul, finding a way of connecting with that, creating a strong concept in our conscious minds to understand how that works. Now, I keep thinking about the one that Chamazier said about the stars sparking. And that's, of course, very star matrix. And it is coming together at that point, really, isn't it? Whew. So, yeah, that was a fascinating topic of the day. And I've only just thought of this. Perhaps in 5, 6 years or now, I have a lovely, simple training manual with nice pictures that exactly explains how you get inside your soul and live in this state of sanctuary inside the soul all the time. And as you're walking around, you're taking this, you're inside your living soul. It's not floating above your head. It's become one. That's a wonderful idea. It really is. I think it is. Ah, start this one first. Shemazia says, so the souls do not need to be saved. No, they don't need to be saved at all. There's nothing wrong with the souls. They're existing at this higher level where nothing can touch them, and you can't sell your soul. No more than you can sell your own brain. Or you could sell your own brain, but you'd be dead. What's the point in that? You can't sell your soul. No, and it doesn't need to be saved. What it does need to be is to be activated, reconnected, to be re-inhabited. Re-inhabited. It's like we had these lovely soul bowls all around us, like animals still do. And then at some point, we got our conscious minds and everything just went a little bit crazy. And we just left them there, just pushed them up and let them float up like balloons and walked around without them and felt homesick and lost and paradise lost. And all of a sudden, oh dear, it's something like that. Perhaps we can reclaim them. Perhaps we can bring them back where they belong, or simply just learn to understand how this really works. Because the only problem in this whole system is and has always been our conscious mind and our ability to understand these very complex things. And yet they're natural. They're natural. Everybody has a soul. Everybody wants sanctuary. Even the people who scream and shout and want to burn the world down, they still deep inside want sanctuary. And if I'm right, all they're missing is contact with their own soul. That's all they're missing out on. So, yeah. Chimazia says, re-inhabit and activate the soul, reclaim it, learn to understand it. Aha moment. Woohoo! I love creating aha moments. My favorite kinds of moments. Yes. So I'm going to put that up. Ilka says, I'm so looking forward to Start Superstar tomorrow. Woohoo! Yes, me too. And I am delighted that you will be there with me. We are going to, I don't even know what we're going to find out and discover and learn. But aha moments, there will be without a shadow of a doubt. It's going to be so interesting. And for everybody else who's listening, who's not on Project Superstar, guys, we will bring back the information from this trip that we have gleaned and gathered, and I will share it freely with everyone here on the Energy Show. And I'm only too pleased to do that. Huh. Yeah, guys. So, what do you reckon? That sounds like fun, doesn't it? Um, you are all really intelligent people. You couldn't be here watching a video on YouTube if you weren't an intelligent person. And you would have never chosen this video if there wasn't some part of you that knows that this soul thing is important. That really is important. I'm not telling you what there is, but I am asking you to, in your thoughts, in your meditations, if you're stuck in a traffic jam, to think about how you understand your own soul. And when you think about it, to pay attention how that feels inside your body. And this is like a game of, warm, cold, warm, hot. When something feels right to you, really right, an aha moment or a little spark or a little whew, that's a clue that you are thinking in the right direction. You're thinking in the right direction. You're thinking in such a way that your energy body is responding to this positively. It is giving you a positive response. And this is essentially the way how I work and how I get from A to B. I posit a thought, an idea, such as in this case, what if the soul sanctuary actually is for us consciously to enter back into that and experience that we have this living soul, which is a real thing, even though it's made of fine energy, high fine energy, that it's real. And that when we get into that and have that desire to get right into the middle of it, right in smack in the center. This is our incarnation, No matter how many times the soul's been round the block with whoever else, right now, this is our incarnation, and we should be right in the center of this soul system. That is magical. It's magical. It's magical. Something else people are always looking for. I'm just going to have to grab a tissue here for a moment before we continue. Hang on. I'll just. Back in 2003, I wrote a German book called The Enchanted World. Zauberwelt. Magic World is the real title. And when I started writing about the soul, the German word came to me really powerful. That was one of these aha moments. And the word was Zauberherz. And that means heart of magic or magic heart. The heart of magic is the soul. This thing that we call magic. It's not a brain thing. It's not a heart thing. It's a soul thing. And this is something else all humans yearn for is magic. More magic in their lives, to be more magical, because there's joy in magic. There's such joy in it. We're not talking about stupid old crappy rituals with goats here. We're talking about something else altogether, some different dimension of sparkling magic, where you're feeling connected and where you're seeing birds in the sky and you send them a thought and this flock of birds forms the shape of a heart for you, that kind of deal. And that is also directly connected to soul stuff. The soul is the heart of magic. It is. So that's another reason to encourage you and me and everyone else who's listening to find their way to do your own explorations, do your own research, do your own tests. If I think of my soul like that, how does that make me feel? Is that uplifting? Is that doing that thing where we're knowing we're doing the right thing because the energy body is responding positively by charging up, by empowering? And that's what I want you guys to do. And everybody else in the world, do your own experiments and come to your own conclusions. And then we come back together and we compare what's happened, what we thought, what we experienced, and perhaps a consensus of truth can eventually emerge from that. And then we can say to the younglings clearly, okay, yeah, this is your soul, this is how it works, this is what you do. And then having this soul becomes normal. And everybody has one. And if that happens, then many things would change for human beings all over the world. Ah, yeah. So soul healing, says Ilka, might rather be healing that comes from the soul rather than the soul needs healing. Exactly. Exactly. Yep. You got it. Absolutely spot on. That's exactly right. Soul healing means that your soul comes to your rescue and heals you. The soul can heal you. Again, there was some German thing going on with that. Deine Seele kann und wird dich heilen. Your soul can and will heal you. It has the power to do that. Your soul has the power to do that, to heal you of all things. Your own soul. It's a hugely powerful energy system. And if we can activate just 10% of that, just 10%, that will make a huge difference in our lives. Finding out how to activate the soul system is one of the big reasons why we have Project Superstar, the non-physical star events which have the clues on how we do that, how we connect to the soul, how we know that, and what happens when we do. That's what needs investigation. I am doing psychology in the true sense of the word. I'm trying to study the human soul. That's what we're doing here. Oh, that's interesting. I like that. Hang on. Lioness says, would the concept of the higher self be the same thing as our soul? Yes, I think so. I think, yeah. See, when you said that, I had a positive response to that. Nice little sparkle up the arms, up the back. And I'm like, yeah, that's on the right path. That's going in the right direction. That's correct. Yes, the higher self is the soul. Only it's not like a nicer version of us. It is literally this alien entity that is, well, beyond our current comprehension. But that doesn't mean to say we can't say, hello, soul. I'd love to know more about you. The Energist's handshake ritual, which says, I don't know who you are, but I would love to know you. Reveal yourself to me. We can say that to our darling immortal soul. Start a relationship. I just love that concept of getting inside of it, get into the middle of it. and see what would happen if we did. And also your ideas, your thoughts, your experiences, all of this comes into this. I do not have a burning bush that tells me the truth or found a magic tablet from the Stone Ages to tell me how this works. I'm trying to work this out in real time with real people in the real world. I know we have souls. I do know that because the human energy body wouldn't function without it. It doesn't work. And now the question is, how do we make use of it, activate it, bring it into play? How do we get inside of it? That's a whole new question, and I find that really fascinating. When I said that, how do we get inside of it? I got the tingles again. So, higher self, let us understand that that doesn't mean higher up in space, but it just means at a higher energy level, but in the same place as we are. I think that's really important, that this whole thing that everything good and magical just happens up above our heads and we're down here stuck on the ground like some toad and can't do anything, Ugh, this all needs to we need to get back inside of this. And so as we are not jumping up into heaven, what we're going to do is just pull the whole thing down, down, bring it back to ourselves. And we are the stars of this incarnation, no matter how many great wise prophets there may have been, down and up and sideways through the paths of time and space. I don't care. I don't even know about reincarnation. I really, honestly, I have no idea what that is or whether I should believe in it or anything. And I don't, I believe in immortal souls, but reincarnation as a concept, bit linear for my liking. And because, life isn't linear. Energy bodies aren't linear. So either which way, doesn't matter. If we do have all these other marvelous lives or not, is immaterial at this point. At this point, we are right here. We are living this life, and we are the stars of this incarnation. And we should be right in the middle of the action. And the action could be the soul sanctuary as well. I'm positing this as a thought and as something to play with. Okay, guys. Yeah, that was wonderful. Thank you very much for playing along today and playing with these concepts and ideas. I'm thoroughly hoping that you will give good attention to this. Because this sentence that I say about the most important part of you that gets the least amount of attention, that's your energy body. Your entire crazy, marvelous, radiant, multi-level layer energy body. But if we take that one more time and just look at the energy body and say, okay, well, what part of your energy body is the most important part and gets the least amount of attention? Well, that would be the immortal soul, right? The heart of magic, the sanctuary, the home. An extraordinary thing. An extraordinary thing that we should be right inside of it. Find out what happens. Right, guys? Ha ha. Thank you very much. Ilke says, thank you for this precious gift. You are so very welcome. And thank you so much for being here. And, guys, I couldn't do this without you. You know that. Without you, I'd be lonely. And there needs to be more than one of us to really understand how these things work. We need to talk about it. We need to bring our own experiences to the table, the gifts that only we would have to give. And then something greater emerges out of this process that's more than the sum of its parts. And I believe this is how human beings should think, should work, should discover things together. Estefania, hello, my darling. How lovely that you are here too. Ah, Hello, Estefania. Yay. And Lioness says, I'm excited to experience this. Please do, and keep at it, and keep asking questions and trying this out. It's so cool. Raven Sweaver says, I think our energy body is our soul, immortal energy. Yeah, not quite all of it. When you see somebody dying, you can feel that sort of dimming down, and then there's a moment, and then you can feel something lifting away. So I think that the energy body does go down, but not the immortal soul. That's the level that is immortal, truly immortal. And that in and of itself, that's a topic for another day. We'll have an immortals party here because that is so damn cool. Ah, Stefania says, much love to you. Yes, much love to everyone who was here with me this morning and everyone else who comes and watches later on. I hope you found something interesting, something thought provoking, and something that you can keep thinking on. I will be thinking on this for the rest of my life. I know I will. Lots and lots of love to you guys. All my best wishes for the week to come. And I am hugely looking forward to seeing you for next week's energy show. And I'll have some report from the first sessions of Project Superstar. So that should be really interesting too. Lots of love and every blessing to you. Remember, you are a radiant, multidimensional being in the oceans of energy, and your happiness matters. Lots of love, and bye for now.